So here we are again at the post office. Another post office video. I did one a month or so ago and I'm back again, and I thought this is another useful bit of information that we need to get out there on the channel. Today we're going to talk about apartados de correo. What is an apartado de correo? Apartado de correo is if you can't get letters to your address, then you can come here to the post office and you can actually contract a post box, and you can get letters sent to that post box. We have one contracted because I can't actually get letters delivered to my house. Okay, but it comes with a lot of buts. They're not actually as good as you think they are. You know, we want to put a positive on everything, but just before you go ahead and contract one, let me tell you things that you can't do with it. So yes, it does substitute a postal address. Okay, so if you can't get post to your address, then you can contract what's called this apartado, sometimes also known as a buzón. Okay, and it normally costs around 75 euros a year. Right, so I've got one contracted in my name, which we use sometimes for company purposes and sometimes for personal purposes as well. But there are limitations. So the first limitation is if there is a letter sent to your apartado address and it's not in your name, then they will send it back. They'll reject it. As ridiculous as it is, we've had letters sent to my wife Lara, and it says Lara at Goodacre instead of Christopher Goodacre, and they sent it back even though it's the same surname. Okay, what is the get around with that? Well, we found a get around really for Christmas cards and stuff like that is you put my name first, Christopher Goodacre, and then in brackets underneath attention, and then the name of the person who it's actually for. That seems to be the get around for this problem. Okay, the workaround, shall we say, for that problem. So far so good, but yeah, a bit ridiculous. The second point is if you're registered at a medical centre, our medical centre wouldn't accept the address for the medical documents, but it was accept our office address with no proof of address because it's an office address, so we don't live there, so we couldn't provide a padron. So yeah, the medical centre for the kids, sometimes they send a letter out for you, reminders, stuff like that, especially if you've got children, because they have like annual checkups and stuff. You can now check them on the app, but by default, unfortunately, if they have specialist appointments, they sometimes send it out by post, and they won't send them to an apartado address. So that is point 2. So maybe that's not going to work for you. Point 3 is you can't get couriers here, so you can't use it here for Amazon and stuff like that. But the positive thing is Amazon will normally just come to your property. Once they've found you once, they'll find you again. So if you've got any experiences with Amazon in the when you're living out in the country or something, please write them below and just let us know, because we'd like to know. So for our house, for example, yes, they can find us. Even the Chinese takeaway can find us, but the postman can't seem to find us. All right, so there you have it. Yes, this is in correos, in the post office. You can contract a post box. They're known as apartados, sometimes known as buzones. Buzón is the actual word for a post box on a wall. Apartado is the word for a post box in the post office. But remember, every letter that arrives there must be in the name of the contracted person. You can add people, but they charge you for it. They were going to charge me an extra 50 euros a year just to add my wife's name, so we had that little workaround I mentioned earlier on. You cannot send couriers to this address because they will not sign a courier package for you. And the last thing is sometimes the apartado address isn't accepted in a lot of places. In our case, it wasn't accepted at the medical centre. So I hope that helps anybody coming to Spain. Don't forget there are independent post shops. So it depends where you live. In many areas where there's a lot of foreigners which have moved there, you'll get independent post shops which will accept couriers, and you can go and pick up your mail from there. There's definitely down on the coast in Mijas, I know 2 or 3. I've heard of them up in the coast in Almeria and places like Mojaca. So check out the independent post boxes as well. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like our channel.